are living with us. Dad replied, I don't want that either, but we have to take her in for a while. My father put all their savings into my mother's bank account. She must have at least $150K in there. At least. If we can get our hands on that money, we can open the gas station of our dreams. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could anyone be thinking about money at a time like this? Despite endlessly dreaming about money, they were always broke. I wanted to humiliate them, call them out, with everyone watching in the church. But I stayed silent. Grandma would have to live in a retirement home if they didn't get the money, and that was the last thing I wanted. The following day, Dad asked Grandma for the money in her bank account. Grandma said no. That is Alfie's college fund. Sell the house and the land. Start your business with the money from the sale. I don't care. Just don't touch Alfie's money, she said firmly. When he heard that, Dad's mood took a turn. Mom, who would buy a property in the middle of nowhere? Even if somebody wanted to, it's only worth a few $1,000s. Give us the money. We've been planning for this gas station for years. Alfie doesn't need to go to college. He hasn't got the brains for it anyway. Dad put me down all the time. I could ignore that, but I couldn't believe he would force my grandmother to give up the money just to live with us. I didn't even know my grandparents had saved their money for me. Grandma, I said, it's okay to give Dad the money in the bank. If I have to choose between you and college, I choose you. I meant every word. My parents got the money and Grandma moved right into my room, even though I had lost one of the two people I loved the most. Thankfully, one of them had come to live with me. Grandpa's death broke my heart, but at least I had this. My parents immediately got to work setting up the gas station. I rarely saw them. I started a small garden in front of our house full of tomatoes, carrots, broccoli, and potatoes. Grandma deserved to eat fresh vegetables like she did back on the farm. My parents saw me working in the garden as they left for work one morning. That kid is such a disappointment, Dad scoffed. We're out building the busiest gas station in town and he's still trying to grow potatoes. Why? Because he's a potato head. They laughed so hard the neighborhood shook and sped off in their new car. At first, it seemed like business was booming.
And also, just so you know, if you're a person that likes to bully people a lot and likes to hurt people for no good reason or anything terrible to make other people suffer, just so you know, you might want to watch out because soon there will be tons of people looking for people like you. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But actually, I'm mostly lying, but partially part of that is actually true. I will be hunting for people that are jerks, mean, and make other people suffer, just to make them get the taste of their own medicine. Okay, good. Also, if you're a good person, you're welcomed on this channel. You're welcomed. I'll give you a big hug. If not, get the fuck off of my channel and go kill yourself. No, don't actually do that. Don't actually do that, that's bad. Don't actually do that. Do not commit murder on yourself, that's bad. You have y'all have a lot to live for if you're as old as me or somewhere near as my age. Just don't kill yourself, okay? Make sure you try preventing it from it happening, because life is good. We should be grateful for who we are and for who we appear as and what we do. Some of us are better than others, but don't be ashamed, because all of you guys are special, because there's like either 4 or 400 trillion. There's a possibility. The possibility of being alive right now is 1 in 4 trillion or 1 in 400 trillion. It's either one of those. It's one of those two. So yeah, you all are special.
Luxury SUV, shopping bags with high-end labels.
Also, have a good day. Don't be mean, because being mean is bad. Okay, bye. Okay, that's enough talking for me right now.
So much money in such a short time running a gas station. But at the time, more time with the business meant they barely spent any time at home. For the most part, Grandma and I lived in peace. Unfortunately, something happened that changed everything. One night, the police raided our house. They took my parents away. It came as a shock until we found out why. In our part of the country, oil is a big industry. We have colossal rigs and refineries that extract and process crude oil straight from the ground. Apparently, my parents had found a shady investor while opening the station. An investor with a long criminal rap sheet. Their partner had found a method of tapping into the refinery's main pipeline, allowing them to siphon thousands of gallons of stolen fuel. So you see, they were selling stolen gas at the station. That's why they'd made so much money so fast. After a month or so, my parents were released on bail, but the police seized everything they'd earned from the business. They lost everything, including the money they got from my grandmother. My parents were back to their miserable lives. Not only were they fighting each other all the time, but they took it out on Grandma. One day, my dad came at Grandma in a threatening tone. "We have to sell the farm. My dad left everything to you. You're going to sell the land and give us the money, or you're going in a home." "Of course, son," she said lovingly. "Anything to keep my family together." I couldn't take it anymore. "No, Grandma," I said. "Please don't fall for it again. My dad already took your money from the bank. If they'd been doing honest work in the first place, we wouldn't be in this mess. Why should we have to suffer for their actions?" Dad suddenly turned his threats on me. "Do you even hear yourself, potato head? So that's how it's gonna be, huh? Pack your things. Get out of my house," he screamed at me. I couldn't believe my own father was kicking me out. I turned to my mom with a pleading look. She seemed to agree with me. "Shame on you," she said in disgust. "You've been living rent-free in this house for years. So ungrateful." But Grandma's patience had its limits. "Shame on you two," Grandma shouted. "You have a wonderful son and you can't even appreciate him. Alfie, let's pack our things and go now." Grandma and I moved into the farmhouse. We woke up at dawn the next day. Grandma said, "Back to what we love doing the most. We potato heads are going to keep growing the most delicious potatoes, tomatoes, and carrots this country has ever seen." I hugged her. I could feel another happy and peaceful summer coming on. Everything was going great, but since there was a summer drought, we needed more water for irrigation. For that reason, we had to dig a new irrigation well. Grandma called in a favor from a guy by the name of Jay. He seemed nice. He would come the next day to drill the well and let us pay him back after the harvest. Jay and his crew arrived early in the morning and picked the best spot for the well. Then they started drilling. After about 5 hours, I started getting concerned. "How much longer is this going to take?" I asked. "We have to dig deeper to reach the water," Jay replied. "This is going to be an artisan well. That means we won't need a pump. The water will naturally flow up to the surface. We should hit the aquifer any second now." Before he could say another word, 2 crew members started yelling. When we turned around, we saw the water that was shooting out of the hole was pitch black. What I thought were shouts of panic were actually screams of excitement. We had struck oil. You heard that right. I said oil. We found oil on our land while looking for water. The thing I remember most from that day was Jay hollering with joy. "It's a blowout! You're rich! Filthy rich!" To secure the oil rights, you have to let the government know. So we started the paperwork. Inspectors surveyed the land and found a large oil deposit underground. So we signed a contract. The government would handle drilling arrangements and make regular payments to my grandmother in exchange. According to the inspectors, the well could last 90 years of production. Grandma would make millions of dollars off the oil well. We felt like we'd hit the jackpot. Grandma bought a beautiful home by the water. We were going to spend the summer there together, and as 2 potato heads, we would continue growing potatoes and other vegetables in our backyard. Our veggie garden turned oil field made it on the news. It was exciting at first, but then my parents came calling. "How are you, son? We saw you and your grandma on the TV. We want to come celebrate."
If your parents disown you and then you have strict gold or oil and become rich, and if they start all of a sudden to be, "Hi, can we live with you now? We love you so much," the best thing to say is, "No, I know you're lying. You're using me. Goodbye, and I hope to never see you in my life again." Then hang up the phone. Only if they act nice to you when you are famous or rich.
"Where are you now?" he asked. I didn't say anything. "Honey, we're so proud of you," Mom lied. "You look so good on TV. We missed you. We'll be there in no time." Their call came as no surprise. I'd even prepared something special beforehand. Thanks for calling. Let me go get Grandma. I'll call you in a bit, I said. My parents were excited. My dad said, that would be amazing. We missed your grandma too. We'll be waiting for your calls. Hang on. I put on my potato head costume. 10 minutes later, Grandma and I video called my parents. Their confused looks were priceless. They knew something was up. Are you having a costume party? My mom said, clearly annoyed. You look ridiculous. Nope, I replied. There's no party. This is how I normally dress. Remember? I'm a potato head. Dad said, Alfie, we were kidding. You're our son. We want to come congratulate you. Grandma had had enough. Enough! You didn't listen to me when you kicked him out of the house. How dare you try to patronize him now? She growled. That's when Mom's true colors came out. Mom, I'm your son. I'm entitled to the money from the land and that oil well. And I'll get my money, even if you won't give it to me. Grandma said, oh, so now you remember you're my son. You sure didn't act like it then, and you're not acting like it now. That land is in my name. I submitted my will to the lawyer yesterday. I'm going to leave everything I own to the one person in this family who deserves it most. And that is my grandson. Don't ever bother us again. Mommy, please let me explain. Dad's pleading was interrupted as I ended the call. What a fabulous costume, Potato Head, Grandma said. What do you say we head over to our favorite restaurant for some fries? But you're coming in costume. Deal? She hugged me as hard as she could. And we had the best dinner I had ever eaten. Those potato fries had never tasted so good.
Pretty nice story.
Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Erica. That Saturday, I was headed to piano class as usual. To make sure I wasn't late, I was practically running. At one point, just as I was about to cross the street, the light turned red. I saw a lady sitting on the pavement, crying. She had 2 large suitcases with her. Are you okay? Is there anything I can help you with? I asked her. I live only 2 blocks away, but I have no strength left to carry my suitcases there. I've been crying here for an hour. No one cares. You're the first person that approached me. She said, barely able to talk between sobs. Is it only the suitcases you need help with? No need to get upset. I'll help you, I responded with a smile. We walked 2 blocks. When the lady stopped in front of a luxury building, I was surprised. We went inside. I dropped the suitcases in the room that she showed me. Thank you so much. I have a gift for you as a thank you for your kindness. I'm sure you'll like it, she said, leaving me alone in the room. A few minutes later, she came back with a notebook. I need to admit something. What I did earlier was a test. You passed the test, therefore you are deserving of this gift, she said, holding out the notebook for me. A test? What test? I asked. A good person test, she replied with a smile and added, flip through it and see if you can spot anything. I started looking through the pages. It was all white. This notebook is blank, I responded. On each page of this notebook, you can write one wish. The wish you write down will come true. I know what I'm saying sounds ridiculous. You don't have to believe it. Go home, try it out, and see for yourself, the old lady said. What do you mean? Is this a magical notebook? I asked, surprised. Yes, sweetheart. You're holding a magic notebook in your hands. There's 3 rules you need to be aware of. 1. From now on, you are the sole owner of this notebook. You can't make a wish for someone else. Each wish needs to be for yourself only. 2. When your wish is granted to you, you can't give it to someone else who's shared. That's why I don't recommend wishing for money, because as I said, you can't give it to anyone, so you only get one drop. 3. The notebook has 21 pages right now. You can only put 1 wish per page, she explained. But why are you giving it to me? I asked. An old lady gave this notebook to me 45 years ago, telling me that I was a kind-hearted person. Thanks to this gift, I've had a wonderful life. I wanted to pass this miraculous notebook on to another kind-hearted person, she answered. I went back home because I'd already missed piano class. I sat on my bed with the notebook in my hand. The The old woman seemed very convincing, but I had to try it out to be sure. I opened the notebook and wrote down the first thing that came to my mind. I want a Big Mac. As soon as I finished writing it, a Big Mac appeared before my eyes. Oh my gosh! No way! I screamed. When I saw the Big Mac, I was both happy and upset. I was happy because the notebook was truly magical. I was upset because I just wasted a page of my notebook for an ordinary hamburger. I had to talk to my mom about this notebook as soon as possible, but she had gone rafting that weekend with her boyfriend William. I briefly thought of calling my dad, but I decided not to. It's been 2 years since my parents' divorce. My dad only called me twice, on my birthdays. He was a disappointment for me, and I had no intention of sharing something so wonderful like a magic notebook with him. In the meantime, I needed to think of a new wish. Since there were 40 pages left, I had 40 more wishes. I had to pick each one carefully. I had a brilliant idea. This is definitely a great wish! I screamed and wrote, I want my voice to be as good as Dua Lipa's. At that moment, I felt something in my throat. My vocal cords were transformed. Then I began to hum a melody. I sounded perfect and now had a singing voice just like Dua Lipa's. At that moment, I realized I was about to live my perfect life with this notebook in my hand. Can you come home a little earlier? There's something important I need to tell you, I texted Mom. Honey, I can't come back before Sunday evening. You can text me if you like, she replied. Apparently, I had to wait for her. This was so huge that I wanted to talk to her face to face. On Sunday night, my mom came home with her boyfriend William. Normally, he doesn't live with us. He just came over to help Mom carry her things. I told my mom I wanted to talk to her in private and told her everything that happened in detail. When I finished telling my story, I showed her the notebook. Just like I expected, she didn't believe me. This would be the most absurd thing I heard in my life, she said, laughing. Then I'm going to do a little demo for you. You'll see this notebook is magic, I replied, beaming. When Mom said, oh yeah, I'm sure I will, mockingly, I got annoyed and wrote the first thing that came to my mind. I want a diamond-studded iPhone 14. As soon as I finished writing, an iPhone appeared in front of me. It was shiny and sparkling. My mom screamed in fear. Then she took the phone, examined it, and finally mumbled, Erica, this notebook is truly magical. For a while, my mom and I talked about what kind of wishes I could make. Then she went to be with her boyfriend. I lay down in my bed. I fell asleep thinking about my potential new wishes. When I opened my eyes the next morning, I saw my room was full of money. What the heck is this? I screamed in shock, jumping out of bed. I saw that my magical notebook wasn't on the night table by my bedside where it was supposed to be. I began to sob. My mom appeared at my door. She must have heard my crying. She too was surprised when she saw the piles of money in my room. Erica, honey, what's going on? She asked. I don't know, Mom. I don't have my magic notebook. Did you take it? I asked. No, honey, why would I take it? She said, and stopped. William stayed over, but he wasn't here when I woke up this morning. I wonder if... Mom, did you tell him about the magic notebook? I asked in shock. My mom was so upset. Erica, we've been thinking about getting married. I couldn't hide something this big from someone who's going to be my husband soon, she replied. So, what does all this money mean? She asked, staring at the money. I had an idea. Mom, there are millions of dollars here. I think William wrote money in the notebook. But even if someone else writes the wish, it comes true wherever I am because the notebook belongs to me, I said. It makes a lot of sense, my mom said, before calling William, who did pick up. She took a photo of the money piles in the room and sent it to him, along with a text that said, the money you wished for is here. Since Erica is the owner of the notebook, every wish made comes true for her. It's never going to work for you. Please bring it back. What about the Ferrari? William responded. What Ferrari? What does he mean? She mumbled. I looked outside. There was a brand new Ferrari sports car in front of the house. William must have wished for a Ferrari. Thankfully, the car's not sitting in my room, but where it's supposed to be, I said. Mom took photos of the car. That's here too, she wrote to her boyfriend. Half an hour later, the doorbell rang. William was standing at the door with the magic notebook in his hand. Please forgive me, I made a mistake. I actually wanted to wish for a few things, but then I felt so bad and decided to bring it back to its real owner. to Erica and handed it to me. He was obviously lying. He had figured out the notebook wouldn't work for him because it belonged to me. He brought it back because he wanted to benefit from my wishes in the future. Apparently, he didn't know I wasn't going to be able to share the things I wished for with anyone. Mom got really mad. How dare you! Get out of here! I don't want to see you again! She screamed. William walked up to my mom threateningly. I will get what I want from that notebook. I'll do anything for it. If you don't cooperate with me, I'll tell the mob. They'll kidnap your dear daughter. You'll never see Erica again. He hissed at my mom. I never liked this guy. He would definitely do as he said. William was about to attack my mom because she kept pushing back. I had an idea. I flipped the notebook open. I want William to live in an igloo on the North Pole until the end of his life. I wrote. William disappeared the second I finished the sentence. He vanished! My mom yelled. Mom, I send him to the North Pole. He'll never bother us again, I said to her. My mom let out a big laugh. Dear magic notebook, you are a wonder, she said. We didn't hear from William for a long time. We just found a letter in our mailbox last week. It was from him. I don't have a phone here. I can't reach you. I wanted to apologize to you and your daughter. Please forgive me. I want to come back. I swear on my life not to bother you ever again, he wrote. I felt sorry for him. What should we do, Mom? I asked. Mom shook her head and said, I don't trust him at all. He needs to stay there if we want to feel safe. We never talked about William again. By the way, if you're curious, I've made 2 more wishes since then. First one was to get high grades on every exam I take. That made things really easy for me at school. The second one was to always be in perfect health. My mom wanted me to wish for that one. I don't even get headaches now. I have 34 more pages in my magic notebook. What else can I wish for? Please write in the comments.
Review for moms from the #1 doctor-recommended multivitamin brand.
Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Lucy. My dad was about to toss a coin he was holding in his hand. He turned to my sister and me. All right, young ladies, tell me, heads or tails? My sister Violet said with her usual brattiness. Why do we need to toss a coin? I want that room. Don't you love me? My mom couldn't stand seeing her favorite daughter sad. Honey, how can you say that? Of course we love you. We love you so much, she said as she turned to look at me. Lucy, why don't you accommodate your little sister? Let her have the room she wants. Actually, Violet is only 3 years younger than me, but my mom always acts like she's the princess of the castle. She always favors her like she's doing right now. First off, I need to explain why my dad was tossing that coin. My dad inherited a house from his grandmother. My parents decided to move into this new house to get out of paying rent. The house is big enough for both Violet and I to have our own rooms. But while one of the rooms has a lake view, the other one faces a high garden wall. The room with the nice view is quite large and gets a lot of sunlight. The other room is dark, small, and smells like mold. My sister wanted the room with the view. I disagreed, of course. My dad said, let's do a coin toss. The winner takes the room with the view, suggesting a fair solution. As you have just witnessed, Violet opposed this coin toss method for picking rooms, and my mom stood by her daughter as usual. Thankfully, my dad is not like my mom. He doesn't play favorites between his daughters. Violet, don't be like that. We will toss this coin and whoever wins will take the room with the view, he said, and looked at me. Heads or tails? Tails, I replied. My dad said, then it's heads for Violet. He then proceeded to toss the coin up in the air. The coin flipped and dropped between Violet and me. I looked at the coin and screamed with joy. Tails! My sister said, I was actually going to call tails. You tricked me! And began sobbing. Violet cried crocodile tears for a long time to try to get the room. My mom pressured me by saying, Lucy, please don't make your sister cry anymore. You're the big sister. Act like it. Violet wasn't about to calm down, so I couldn't
She
take
should
it
say,
anymore.
okay, I'll be
Even
big
though I
sister.
won the other room fair and square,
And
I
be
moved into
regular
that
and
small,
fat.
dark, and smelly room.
One that
In the
doesn't
following days, I
freaking
directed all my
care
rage to the room
about what
itself.
what
I hated
her
it
little
because
daughter
this whole thing was
wants,
unfair to me, and
because
it was
she's
the worst
spoiled.
room in the house. That's why I spent time in other parts of the house or went to visit my friends. My room was only for sleeping. One night, I turned off the lights and went to bed. I was about to fall asleep. There's a new girl in class. Whenever a new iPhone comes out, she goes and gets it. She had done it again. We gathered around her, admiring the new iPhone. I'm using my dad's old phone. I wish I had a phone like that, I said. I fell asleep thinking about it. I woke up with the smell of mold in my nose. No matter how much I aired the room, the stink wouldn't go away. This damn room, I said while opening the window. When I turned around, I noticed a box on my bedside table. It was a brand new iPhone. No way! What in the world? I screamed. Why did they get me an iPhone? My birthday was 5 months away. Wait a minute. Is this one of Violet's pranks? I said. I held the box. The packaging looked real. Still, I was cautious as I opened it. It was not a prank. It really was a brand new iPhone. I ran upstairs to ask my mom, but there was no one home. My parents had left for work. I remembered that Violet was at a sleepover at her friend's. At that moment, I realized I wasn't holding the phone in my hand anymore, but I had left the room with it. Where did this phone go? I came back to my room. The box was still there, but the phone was gone. I looked for the phone in all the places I just walked through. It was gone. Once again, I searched for it in my room and around the whole house. It was nowhere to be found. I just lost a wonderful iPhone somewhere in the house. It made no sense at all. Was I dreaming? I pinched my arm to see if it was going to hurt. Well, it did, so I was awake. But what was happening? I sat down on my bed. I put my hands over my eyes and began to cry. At the same time, I was saying to myself, where is the phone? I wish I never lost it. It was such a great phone, too. As I looked around to grab some tissues, I saw another box sitting in the same spot. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was another brand new iPhone. I couldn't touch it at first because I was scared. Am I losing my mind? I mumbled. Nervously, I opened the box again. The new phone was shiny. My fear was gone. I didn't know what was going on, but the phone I was holding in my hand was real. I turned it on immediately and started setting it up. I took out the SIM card from my old phone and inserted it into the new one. I was so excited I just had to tell someone. I video called a friend. Bro, something weird happened, I said. I hadn't had breakfast yet. I decided to get something to eat from the kitchen. I said to my friend, don't freak out, but I'm going to tell you something wild. As soon as I said this, I left my room, and something incredible happened at that moment. The phone suddenly vanished from my hand. I screamed in fear. I looked incredulously at my hands first, then around me. The phone had literally disappeared. I ran back into my room in a panic. So the first phone must have vanished the same way, but I didn't realize how it had happened. I had a crazy idea. Trembling, I said, I wish I had a brand new iPhone. Oh my God. As soon as I finished that sentence, a new phone emerged in the same spot where I'd found the previous two phones. I was so excited that I almost forgot to breathe. I had to try one more thing, but I was hesitant. Anxiously, I picked up the phone. I went out the door, holding the box. The phone vanished. Yes, it simply vanished. Even though I was expecting this to happen, I was still scared when it did. This is so wild. What is going on? This is so wild. I kept repeating to myself for a while. When I calmed down, I went back to my room. I looked around amazed. This room is making my wishes come true, but I can't take these things out of here. When I try, they just disappear, I said. Even though that sounded impossible, this was exactly what was happening. I didn't go to school that day. No one was home, so I was going to enjoy my wish-granting room. I started out by wishing for small things at first. I was hungry, so I said, wouldn't it be fantastic to have some nice pancakes? Ta-da! Just like that, the pancakes were there. I want some hot chocolate with them, I said. A cup of hot chocolate emerged right next to the pancake. This was the weirdest, scariest, but also the most fun thing ever. As I was having my breakfast, I continued to make wishes. I want a MacBook Air. I want a really nice yellow backpack. I want a Nintendo Switch. I want the world's most expensive perfume. By the end of breakfast, I had a bunch of wonderful things. I screamed with glee. Thank you, wonderful room. I'm sorry I hated you in the beginning. I had got a nagging question though. Should I tell my family about this room? I actually decided to show my room to Violet. She had manipulated the situation by crying and taken the nice room for herself. But there was something she didn't know. The room she didn't want was making all my wishes come true. I'm sure she'd be so jealous if she found out about that. Still, there was an issue with the scenario. She could manipulate her way into taking this room as well. This kind of thing was her expertise, so I didn't think I could beat her at it. After some consideration, I decided not to mention the room to Violet at all. That meant I couldn't mention it to my parents either. Ideally, I would like my dad to be the benefits of Violet's room, but if it had to stay a secret, then even my dad couldn't know about it. The next morning when I woke up, I thought I had dreamed it all. But when I started to take a look, I saw all the things I had wished for. I was so happy to see it wasn't all a dream. I told my dad. I looked at the iPhone on my bedside table. It was still there. There was a bottle of expensive perfume right next to it, and it smelled incredibly good. I ran into my sister Violet on the way to the bathroom. Suddenly, I had the urge to hug her. That took her by surprise. What's going on? She asked. I just wanted to hug you, I said. Okay, but why? She asked, and I went into the bathroom without answering. She couldn't hear me anymore. Why? Because thanks to you, I have a room that grants my every wish, I said, laughing. When I went back to my room, I had an idea. Someone could walk in while I wasn't there and see all of this. Then my secret would be out. I said, I want everything that I wished for to disappear. And as soon as I did, everything disappeared. What was the secret about this room? Did it have to do with witchcraft? Or was it magic? Who built this room? Was there anyone else before me who used it? Had my dad's grandmother been aware of the powers of this room? How were my wishes being granted? Was the room doing all this by itself, or were these things flying in from somewhere? I mean, when I asked for an iPhone, was the iPhone leaving an Apple store and arriving in my room? These last few thoughts worried me a little because this could be considered stealing. It was better not to think about the room anymore. Instead, I should enjoy its services. I wanted pizza for breakfast. I want a margarita from Italy's best pizzeria, I said. The second I finished my sentence, there was a steaming hot, delicious pizza in front of me. It's been 6 months since I discovered my room was making my wishes come true. No one in my family knows about it. Once, my dad said, "You're spending too much time in your room. A girl your age should be socializing. I'm worried about you." I started socializing more so as not to draw any more attention. Whenever I go out, I actually can't wait to get back to my room. I run straight to my dear magical room as soon as I can. What would you wish for if you had a room like mine? Can you give me some ideas? But remember, you can't take anything outside. And also keep in mind that the room is not very big. Once I said, I want a Ferrari, just to see what would happen. I got a miniature Ferrari that was produced as a collector's item. That means when I wish for something big, the room grants me the wish, but it also adjusts the dimensions accordingly. If you like my story, I can make another video about my room in the future. Please let me know in the comments. Goodbye!
Here's my story, Chief. I'm Carter. Somebody was knocking on my door way too late. The door opened and one of the housemaids took her head inside. "I hope I'm not disturbing you, sir," she said. "Well, obviously you are. I was sleeping peacefully." I yelled. "My apologies. Your mother asked me to call you. She's in the white lounge waiting for you." My dad's dog, Astro, shoved his way inside, pushing past the startled maid. He jumped into my bed, barking, licking my face and calling me. "Get out of my room!" I screamed at him and the maid. The maid left quickly, and Astro minded me nervously. Pushing him off my bed, I stormed to the white lounge. On my way, I walked past my dad's study. 2 heavily built guards stood at his door. These were my dad's partner David's men. For some reason, one of the guards glared at me. He made me nervous, so I looked away from him quickly. I hurried past, still agitated by having been woken from a deep sleep. I walked into the white lounge. My mom's
smiled at me sweetly. Honey, you didn't forget, did you? It's February 20th, your dad's birthday. Let's go buy him a nice gift, she said. I said, Mom, a gift? Does it even make sense to buy anything for a billionaire? Honey, the sentimental value of gifts is more important. Your dad is in a meeting with his partner David. Go get ready to leave. Let's try to get back home around the time they finish their meeting, she replied. Suddenly we heard sirens. There was a commotion coming from our front yard. My mom and I ran outside to see what it was. Our front lawn was swarming with police officers. 2 of them were holding my dad by the arms. When Dad saw us, he yelled, "I'm innocent! Don't believe him! I'm innocent!" Before he could say anything else, they put him in the patrol car and drove away. My dad's partner David appeared at the door, surrounded by his guards. He held a document, smirked, and said,
Your husband transferred all his possessions to my name.
"What are you saying? What did you do to my husband? Why did the police take him?" My mom screamed.
Your husband was involved in tax fraud. The government doesn't favor anyone when it comes to paying taxes. I don't think he'll ever get out of prison. His mansion belongs to me. Get out of here immediately, David said, signaling his guards. The guards forced us to leave our property in the only world I had ever known. My mother and I cried outside the gate for a long time, hugging each other. Hours passed. We were hungry. We had no money. We walked downtown. My mom told people we were starving and asked for help. Thanks to people's charity, we were able to eat. Exhausted, we didn't have a place to go. We entered the local park. Mother insisted that I lay down on a bench. I was too shocked to say anything or resist.
Still remember how to make a wooden pickaxe. Oh, thank God. Okay, I do. And this is how my day starts. Every single day, I wake up in the same room waiting for one thing, for these gates to open. Because when these gates open, I get my chance to escape. For my entire life, I've been trapped inside this arena, which I call the grid. The grid is a giant box filled with 9 squares. And the entire time I've been trapped in here, the only goal has been to get to the other side. It's not as easy as it sounds, though, because if you step into the wrong square, you might die. Fortunately, I've been here long enough to know what to do. I have 3 choices. I can either go to the left square, the middle, or the right. I never start out by going to the right, so today, I'm going towards the middle square. This is when I wait for the first object to fall. That's the game. Luckily, the first object that fell was in the top left corner. This was a wooden cube, so based on the patterns, I'm predicting one of 2 things is gonna happen. Option A, I stay in the middle, and the pattern that forms is a giant wood box. I should be safe in the middle, but the way out will be blocked. Option B, sticks might fall in the exact square where I'm standing. From there, I'll have to improvise the way out. The thing about sticks is that they always fall diagonally. If you stand in the middle of the square, you'll be crushed. I decided that option B is more likely, so I decided to stand at the edge of the square. Luckily, I made the right choice and a stick dropped right in front of me. The only downside about sticks is that they block 2 of the 4 paths. So now, I only have 2 ways to go. I slowly went towards the other stick that was dropped behind me. That's when I saw the exit and it was open. But just as I started to run for it, the objects disappeared. And when I got to the gate, it was too late. The gate was already closed. That's the other problem. There's only a split second when the gate opens, and if you miss it, the day resets. But what's important is I'm still alive. The thing is, I wasn't always alone in here. I had someone else who was stuck in here with me. Him and I would switch off days when we would go into the grid. That day was supposed to be my day to run, but he insisted that he wanted to go again.
Don't worry, I'm just playing it safe. If I see something weird though, I'll come right back.
That day made me realize that no one knows the patterns of the grid. When the first object fell, we thought it was a pattern we knew all too well. But just when we thought we could predict the patterns perfectly,
If you're in the middle,
the grid outsmarted us. Alright, let me get another furnace for all this iron. Wait, why is my furnace crafting? Ah, shoot, placed a piece of cobblestone in the middle. Whoops, that day made me realize that anything in the grid is unpredictable. We promised each other we would get out of here, so I owe it to my friend to keep on going. This time, I decided to go to the left. Let's see, I can make a bed with any kind of wood, right? Yeah, this works. I waited in the top left corner for the first object to fall. This time, a wood cube dropped in the bottom left corner. This was strange. Usually objects start falling on the right side of the grid, but this time, wood cubes filled up the entire bottom row of the grid. Oh man, I really wish I could make a green bed. White beds are kinda ugly. This could be the time I escaped. I started running towards the exit, but luckily enough, I saw the trap before I got crushed. The wool cubes came in so fast, I wouldn't have had time to react. If I had gone for the escape, I would have died. Oh, okay, this is such a terrible house. I guess it will work for a starter house. Alright, let's just get some doors on it and call it a day. This is it. This time, I was getting out for good. Let's see, wooden doors are made like this, right? Isn't it 6 of them? This time, I decided I was gonna go with my usual path, the left square. But then, something unexpected happened. What? This never happens. I panicked and backed up into the corner, but that was a huge mistake. I just barely missed getting crushed by a wood cube, and now I was trapped. I had nowhere else to go but further into the grid. It seemed like the blocks were following me, but I thought it might have just been the wooden box starting from the top left instead of the right. But when I backed up, the blocks were still coming towards me. I had never trained for a pattern like this, but I realized I was almost at the exit. I ran towards the gate, but there was still the problem of the gate not being open. I sat there hoping I wouldn't be crushed, but then all of them disappeared. I quickly turned around to the gate, and I managed to get through just as I heard the gate close behind me. I had finally escaped the grid, but now I was in another room, just like the room I had always been in, and then the wall closed in. What's happening? Am I stuck in here? Alright, starter house done, and everyone knows the furnace goes next to the crafting table, right? Alright, place that there, and let's get one more piece. Of course. I only have 3 stone. Alright, no worries, I'll just smelt one more piece, and I don't have any coal. Okay, I guess I'll just use a stick. And there we go, problem solved. This is the best time of the day. When these gates open up, this is when I get my chance to escape. After being stuck in the grid, I'm now in a new prison. One that I call the pit. Inside the pit, there's only one goal, and that's to get to the bottom. But here's the catch. The pit runs off of a fuel source, and if I jump down to the bottom at the wrong time, it's game over. And of course, that's just the bottom of the pit. To actually get to the bottom of the pit, you have to solve the puzzle first. Fortunately for me, this was the cobblestone puzzle. Out of all the puzzles, this is by far the easiest. All it is a little parkour, and you're at the bottom. After I got through it, I went over to the ledge and checked the fuel source. This time, it was a stick.
Yeah, if it's a stick, don't go for it. Sticks are the fastest fuel. You'll never make it.
See what was right. Within a second, the lava shot to the top. If I had jumped and went for the escape, I would have been a goner.
Don't give up hope. One day the infinite fuel source will show up. I just know it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The guy I'm stuck with has been here much longer than I have, and he always tells me the story of the infinite fuel source. He says he went into the pit one time when there was a fuel that lasted forever, but he could never get to the bottom because he was caught in a stack. Ooh, let's go. I'm just gonna jack one of these villager furnaces. Oh, I don't have any coal. Oh, wait. No, I can just use a lava bucket, right? Doesn't that smelt like so many items? I think it smelts 100 items, right? So it should be good for a stack of cobblestone. Every time he completed the puzzle, the pit would send him back to the start. And by the time he escaped for good, the infinite fuel source was gone. There we go. Finally getting some windows on this house. Alright, let's see. Gotta smelt some more sand. And thank you. I have enough coal. That's a first. He keeps saying that one day it'll come back, and we'll both be able to escape when it does. C1's an expert at prisons. He's been here much longer than I have, and most of the prisons he gets through with ease.
Alright, let's see. Just a classic sand puzzle? Nothing I haven't handled before.
Each day we switch on who goes into the pit. Every time we get to the bottom, we let each other know the fuel source that's in the pit. But this day was different.
There's still time left. I think I can actually escape.
It's all good. We just gotta be patient. And then see what jumped to the bottom.
This is it. I'm getting out of here.
What are you doing? You said we would escape together with the infinite fuel.
You're a fool. You actually believe that story? There's no such thing as an infinite fuel source. I made it up.
What? Yeah, I think a window would look pretty good right there. Alright, we get some glass. Wait, how did all of it not smell? I thought it smelled 9 items. Alright, put that back in there, and we should be good.
I'll be the only one to have ever escaped the pit.
And just like that, I was all alone in the pit. I was gonna have to find a way to escape myself. There were times I ran into puzzles I've never seen before. I need some food, Alright, what do I have in here? Are you serious? I only have 1 raw chicken. Bro, how do I have no food? Wait, can't you smell help and eat it? I think you can. Alright, well, I'll just throw this over here, I guess. The kelp force was the first ever water puzzle I had to solve. I almost drowned trying to escape. When I got to the bottom, there was still time left to jump, but it didn't matter. The pit reset before I could jump. And then there were just some weird ones that I had to get through. Why are there so many chickens? Oh, I'm out of kelp. Alright, get it over with and just cook this piece of raw chicken. But then, a puzzle I've never experienced before spawned, and it changed the game. A wet sponge. Let's see. Wikipedia says I gotta put it in a furnace with a bucket at the bottom, and then I should get a dry sponge, right? Alright, seems like it's working. This puzzle was the most difficult one yet, and just when I was about to drown, I escaped with half a heart. But things changed when I went to check the fuel source. I saw something that I've never seen before. Instead of a stick or a piece of coal, the fuel source was a bucket of lava. I thought the pit was about to reset like it usually does, but the lava stayed, and I was still on the edge. Was this the infinite fuel source? I thought that was made up. I waited for hours for the lava to drop, but nothing happened until it finally moved. I waited an entire day, and soon enough, the platform was exposed. I knew this was my chance. I jumped down to the bottom. This was it. Now that I was on the platform, there was no turning back. I was gonna have to hope that these doors would open. If this worked, this would mean I escaped the pit for good. I ran over to the doors, and to my surprise, they opened. And I dashed through the hallway, and I was officially out of the pit. Just like the time when I escaped the grid, I was back in another room. I escaped the grid. I escaped the pit. So, what happens now? Let's see, it's 2 diamonds right here? Yeah, there we go. Alright, now I can finally enchant some stuff. Let's go! Okay, now that I've finally got an enchanting table, I can enchant this pickaxe. Let's see, I put this into there with lapis and efficiency 1. There we go. This place was different. It wasn't like the grid or the pit I had already escaped. This time, I could go through the doors anytime I wanted, but there was nothing to do. The room had nothing, but 3 more sets of doors that led to nothing. All that was behind the doors were just walls. I waited in this room for hours, and nothing happened, until finally, a blue light lit up over one of the doorways.
Okay, looks like you'll be going through door number 1 today, and the enchantment is efficiency.
What is this? What's through the door?
Nah, it's easy. Just get to the other side and you'll be fine.
When I opened the doors, instead of a wall being there, somehow a long hallway just appeared.
Just get it done quickly, bro. This one's easy. Just mine to the other side.
The guy said all I had to do was dig to the other side. I tried going on top of the blocks, but something was blocking me. I mined for a while without finding the exit, but then something happened. What? Alright, efficiency what? Wait, why did I get unbreaking? I swear it just told me I would get efficiency 1. Bro, I gotta enchant another one? Please give me efficiency. What happened? How did I die?
Whoa, I told you had to do it fast. Now this guy got unbreaking. Alright, just do it again faster, please.
This time, I managed to get to the other side. And when I got there, I saw a staircase that led up to 2 portal blocks. And when I walked over them, I got teleported back to the same room.
Oh, thank God you did it right. Alright, you're done for now.
What's going on? Is that not the way out? Why didn't I escape?
Yeah, there's no leaving this place, bro. You work here as an enchanter. We're short on workers these days.
How is all of this possible? Oh, let's go. This one actually gave me efficiency. Alright, I got the pickaxe enchanted. Now I got an enchanted diamond sword. Let's go. Alright, let's see. For the sword, I should want sharpness, right? Unbreaking? No, I don't want unbreaking. Wait, this one will give me sharpness. Alright, I guess I'll do the 3rd level. The next time I walked into the room, all 3 doors had lights over the doorways. What am I supposed to do now?
Alright, we back. Let's hope you do better on your 2nd day. Let's see what we got here. Unbreaking 1, no. Bane of Arthropods, no. Sharpness, there we go. You're going through these doors.
The next hallway I walked into was full of dripstone. It wasn't anything complicated. I just had to survive the damage until I got to the end. But once again, I got to the other side and got sent back right to the same room I was in before.
Good job. You got sharpness done first try. Honestly, I thought it would go way worse.
Hey, let's go. Sharpness 1. Alright, now the enchantment table is working. Alright, let's see. Oh, enchantment chestplate, I think. I think that's the most important piece of armor. Let's see. I want protection, right? There we go. Protection 1. Should work. The next room I was in didn't treat me well. I didn't exactly survive. This chestplate has Curse of Binding. Is that supposed to happen?
Please don't die again. I can't have Curse of Binding on the resume, bro.
It took me another try, but I finally got through the zombie board hallway, only to be sent back guy may have been telling the truth, and there truly was no escape. Pretty sure if I put another bookshelf right here, it should unlock a bunch of different enchantments. Let's see, I want something good on this diamond sword. Ooh, wait, looting? Wait, I think it's a really good one. I'm gonna do that. What did I do here?
Bro, I wish I could have done this one. You just have to rob all them and you're good.
Just as I was about to rob the villagers, one of them stopped me and started telling me that there was a way out. He gave me a note and said the key to escape to this place was the curse of vanishing. He told me to wait for a doorway to open with 3 hallways. If I die in all of them, I should be able to escape. I thanked him for the help, and then I had to rob him. I need to fill this corner with bookshelves, and let's see if this did the trick. Alright, I'll just put the sword in here, and level 30, let's go, I got it. Alright, I'm just gonna see what this gives me. When I opened the doors this time, instead of being 1 hallway, there were 3. This is what the villager told me about. Now, all I had to do was die in all 3 before I get caught.
Make sure you get them done fast. We don't got all day.
I was gonna have to move quickly if I wanted to escape. The first hallway was the knockback hallway. The creepers were fake, so I couldn't use those to die, but there was an easy way out in this one. I just jumped in the lava. That was 1 out of 3.
Let's move it in there. Come on.
The second hallway was for the fire aspect of Jet. But once again, this one was too easy. I just didn't use the fire resistant potion and jumped in the lava. Now this was the hard one. There wasn't enough space to quickly die from fall damage. I had to keep jumping up the dripstone to take small amounts of damage.
Hey, what's going on in there? What's taking you so long, bro? Wait, what?
With 1 heart left, I jumped.
Oh my god, bro. Now I gotta enchant all these by myself.
Back in the same style room that must mean that there's more to come. No way, look at how crazy this sword is. Yeah, if I want to put fire aspect 2 on this, I gotta use the anvil.
This is my comeback. Start yours at purdueglobal.edu.
Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Kirsten. Just like every other night, my mom assigned me to trash duty. I went outside and came face to face with a pit bull. It was growling, staring at me. Right at that moment, a man yelled, "Don't move! He got out of his leash! He might attack you!" I couldn't move because I was already paralyzed with fear. The man said, "I'll distract him. Walk backwards and get away. Don't run." Those 10 seconds felt like 10 years. First, I walked slowly like the guy said, but then I had to get going. I turned around and ran home as fast as I could. I hated taking out the trash because things like this happen to me all the time. Just last week, I almost got hit by a drunk driver. I walked into the living room, trying to catch my breath. My mom and my brother Sean were playing a board game and having a blast. "Mom, I almost got attacked by a pit bull. I was barely able to get away. Why am I the only one taking out the trash? Sean should also do it once in a while," I said. Mom was upset because I interrupted their game. "You're just like your dad, complaining all the time." Sean asked with a smirk on his face. "Mommy, did my dad ever complain?" Mom replied, "Your dad was a perfect man. That's why I left Kirsten's dad for him. But then your dad left me," and she laughed. My mom married twice and got divorced both times. With her first husband, she had me, and with her second, she had Sean. So my brother and I share our mom, but we have different dads. My mom loves my brother more than she loves me, and doesn't hide it. I'm kind of like the maid of the house. She always wants me to do stuff for her. Sean, on the other hand, enjoys being mom's favorite. One night my dad called. He sounded awful. "Honey, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Unfortunately, we lost your grandpa. His body is being transported on a plane. There's something we need to go over before the funeral. Your grandpa's will is going to be presented. I talked to Mom. She's going to bring me to the lawyer's office," he said. My grandpa lived in South Africa, so I couldn't see much of him, but we talked on the phone all the time. He was a confidant. He was the one I called when my mom upset me. He would calm me down with his kind words. "Come, live here with me," he said. I'd refuse his offer and say, "I know she's a good person. I love her, even though she doesn't love me. I cried until morning thinking about my grandpa. As Mom took me to the lawyer's office, she said, Sean has a soccer game today. Couldn't this guy have died another day? Mom, he's my grandpa and your ex-father-in-law. Have some respect, I grumbled. Mom snapped. Why? He didn't like me. I didn't like him. I even kicked him out of the house once. When we got to the office, my dad was waiting for us there. Mom said, this is a waste of time. What will? He had nothing to give his family. Then you're in for a surprise, Dad replied. My father had a large stake in a diamond mine. That's why he lived in South Africa. Mom was really surprised. Just then, an older lawyer walked in. He started reading my grandpa's will. My grandpa had left half of his fortune to my dad, and the other half to me. But since I was too young, I couldn't get my inheritance yet. I'd have $30,000 transferred to my account on the first day of every month. I would receive my entire inheritance of $22 million as soon as I hit 18. My mom almost fainted when she heard about the money. She leaned towards me and whispered, oh my God, we are rich, sweetheart. Sweetheart? So now she starts calling me pet names after hearing about—
Guess what, guys? You won't believe it. If I was hearing that story, I say, what are you talking about? We're rich. Did you mean to say I'm rich? Because you're not getting none of it. Good. That's a good tip. If something happens like that, something like that ever happens.
Surprise. The lawyer continued reading the will. I haven't forgiven my ex-daughter-in-law. I don't want her to benefit from my fortune in any way. If Kirsten gives her mom even a penny, both her monthly allowance and the inheritance amounting to $22 million will be cut off. My mom restrained herself even though she was furious. I will benefit from that money forever and you can't stop me, she mumbled. When we got back home, my mom was a different person. She used to call me only by my name. Now she was calling me honey, baby, and lovey. She came by my room all the time. Every time she did, she would bring me something. Honey, I made you a milkshake. Lovey, I thought you'd like a nice sandwich now. She would only do this kind of thing to Sean before. I thought I had just become Mom's favorite. What would Sean do when he realized this? That night, when Mom saw me with my usual trash bag in my hand, she stopped me and called my brother. With the softest voice, she said, Baby, from now on, Sean will take out the trash. What do you say? Handing the bag to Sean. Sean didn't know about the will. He had no idea why Mom had a change of heart. He just stared at her. What are you looking at? Take out the trash now. This is your job from now on, she yelled. Even though he couldn't figure out what was going on, Sean ran away. Over the next few days, Sean found out that he wasn't the little prince in our castle anymore. He was now doing all the things that I used to do. It was finally the first day of the month and I got $30,000 in my bank account. Mom looked very happy. Honey, do you want to go shopping tomorrow? You're rich now, so you can buy anything you want, she said. Mom took me to the Louis Vuitton store first. This brand makes wonderful bags. Let's get you some, she said. Mom, these are not right for my age and they're beyond expensive. You have to be stupid to pay this much money for a handbag, I replied. But of course my mom didn't listen to me. She bought 3 Louis Vuitton bags. Because of Grandpa's rules, she couldn't shop for herself. We had bought the handbags for me, but she was going to be the one who used them. Our second stop was Chanel. My mom got a dozen expensive dresses. Every time she would come out of the fitting room, she would look at herself in the mirror and say, Sweetie, this will look so good on you. Let's get this one too. It was so obvious that she was shopping for herself, but she was outright lying. That day we went in and out of a lot of luxury stores. It's hard to believe, but we ended up spending around $25,000. Handbags, jewelry, dresses, perfumes. We came back home with so many shopping bags. When my brother opened the door, he stared at the bags in wonder. Apparently, Mom never said anything to him about the inheritance. He was still trying to figure out what had happened. Mom said, Stop staring and carry these inside Mom's bedroom. At that moment, I realized that none of the things we bought were for me. Yes, we spent $25,000 and bought nothing for me. But if you ask my mom, it was all mine. That week, my mom spent the rest of the money. She went to luxury restaurants and ate expensive food. I couldn't eat anything because that sort of food doesn't agree with me. Mom ended up spending thousands of dollars on these weird-looking dishes. When she ran out of money, my mom started dreaming about next month's money. She would come to my room to hug me and say things like, "Honey, we'll get you a wonderful Rolex watch." Or, "Lovey, we'll get you a beautiful necklace from Tiffany." We both knew that she was buying those for herself, not me. The first day of the following month, Mom woke me up really early. "Honey, could you check your account and see if the money came in?" she asked. I checked the bank's mobile app. I only had $5 in my account. Mom was upset, but she still said, "Let's wait a little, baby. I'm sure it'll arrive soon," giving me a kiss on the cheek. That day, I did not get the $30,000 I was supposed to receive every month. When I didn't get it the next day either, Mom wanted me to call the lawyer. I called the lawyer with my mom. He asked me to put him on speaker so my mom could hear him as well. "Kirsten, I have bad news for you. As you know, your grandpa didn't want your mom to benefit from your inheritance. If that condition was not met, you would be cut off. Your grandpa asked me to hire a private eye. He followed you last month and observed that you bought many things for your mom." My mom jumped in. "You're mistaken. We got those for Kirsten, not for me," she said, trying to play it down. The lawyer replied, "We have the information from the stores you shopped from. We determined that all the garments you bought were your size. You apparently got them for yourself. Because you broke the rules, your daughter is not going to be able to receive her inheritance. The entire sum will be donated to a non-profit organization." When the lawyer hung up, my mom looked really sad. "Don't be sad, Mommy. At least you had a month of carefree spending," I said to console her. She growled, "Shut up. I made the mistake of trusting you. I let myself get hopeful. I'm disappointed. It's all because of you," and shut the door behind her as she left. I knew my mom loved me because of my money, but I was still very sad. I started crying. Just then, the doorbell rang. My mom said, "Kirsten, get the door, then take the trash out." When I opened the door, I couldn't help but scream. Mom ran to the door, wondering what was going on. My grandpa was standing in front of me.
What?
"Don't be scared, my child. I'm not a ghost. We devised a little game to show your mom's true colors. When you got the money, she started loving you more, right?" That was exactly what I expected her to do. "She didn't disappoint me," he said. When she heard this, Mom started crying silently. She was too ashamed to look me in the eyes. She knew she'd made a mistake, but it was too late. Grandpa said, "My sweet girl, get your stuff. Come with me to South Africa for a while. Let's give your mom some time to think about what she's done. Maybe she'll come around." It's been 4 months since that day. She called me for the first time last month. She apologized so many times and really looks like she meant it. But I'm still not sure if I should trust her. She wants to visit.
Please
Should I
don't
let her
trust her.
come? Please write in the comments. Bye now.
Bye, whatever. Don't like it here anyways.
Pizza Hut Good Dinner Box. 2 pizzas, breadsticks, and wings or pasta. Everybody's eating.
Okay, so this is the first world I created for this series, and I don't know how I got so lucky, but what? Wow. Okay, what a beautiful view to start off with. What? Wait, hold on.
Alright, I just loaded the 1.18 update. Let's see how this works. Okay, so I'll get some wood. Okay, so my friend told me to go mining in Minecraft, so let's go do that. Wait. You're supposed to mine down, not into the wall. What are you gonna find? Duh. Oh, okay. I guess I'll go mine down here, I guess. Oh, okay, guys. So I've actually progressed quite a lot. I've got an entire diamond pickaxe right here. So I heard that if you mine down to bedrock, you can actually find the nether dimension underneath the bedrock. So let's mine through here real quick. Bro, you can't dig through bedrock, man. Are you okay in the brain? Yes, you can, man. I'm actually a professional at this game. Okay, bro, just keep trying, man. I believe in you. Wait, what? What do you mean? What? How did you what? Okay, this guy is genuinely Einstein, I swear to God. Okay, well, since Dream stopped making Minecraft manhunts, I'm gonna be the new manhunter. 3, 2, 1, go! Leave me alone, bro. Hello, man. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for the stuff. Oh, my days. Okay, let's go. Hey, this guy has 21 raw salmon on him. Let's go. Can you guys go away, man? Please. Can you guys need to chill out, man. Bro. Okay, it's all good. Okay, guys, let's load the world in real quick, and oh my goodness, no way, guys, oh my god, this is absolutely incredible. We found the secret village chest, and it has a, oh my god, guys, we got the looting 255 sword. There's an igloo and a ruined portal. This is absolutely incredible, guys. And if we use this cool new pickaxe, then boom, oh my god, guys, it's all good. We can cop these cool new beds, and also this furnace is a bit relevant. Oh my days. Also, guys, the ruined portal has been filled up by Dream himself. Thank you, bro. You're coming in clutch right here. Anyways, go to the nether right now, and oh my god, guys, we landed in the overworld with 64 eyes of ender. This is absolutely insane. If we go down here, guys, we are catching frostbite, but it's all good because we can go down here and we should find. Oh my god, it's the stronghold. No way, guys, it's absolutely insane place. Alright, guys, I cut out the part where I found the portal. It took a bit too long, but anyway, we're here now. Let's go. Okay, guys, Albert Einstein himself is right here. So we're coming into creative in 3, 2, 1. Boom, guys, let's go. We can go get the dragon now. And oh my god, guys, it's still alive. What is this? Let's go. Would you look at that, guys? We beat the game in approximately 0 seconds. Oh my goodness, guys. I think this is going to be world record of a 0-second run. It's absolutely insane. I can't run. Hey, man, wanna play Minecraft with me? Okay, sure, bro. Bro, how are you so good at this game? Oh my god. I'm just too good. Also, I'm currently speedrunning Minecraft at the exact same time, so. And then I got world record, easy clap. Also, right now I'm writing an essay that's supposed to be due in 5 minutes. Also, right now I'm actually running a marathon as we speak, so, whoops. Also, I found Herobrine doing whatever he's doing right now, is this guy like an AI or something? Also, I managed to break bedrock like that other guy. Look at this. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. Right. That's insane. Hey, bro, you should go jump in that water down there. That's a good idea. Go. Okay, let's go. And oh dear. Hey, you should go down there too. You missed the water. You absolute loser. They're just maps. Get outplayed. Okay, so I got this new game called Minecraft. Let's go play some games. Okay, so I heard you need to be careful when mining a tree because it might fall on you, so let's mine it from the top instead. How is this floating? This is not realistic in any way at all. But this guy's very realistic, yeah, however. Wait, isn't this like Steve, the main character of the game? Oh my god, I found a Steve spawner. Oh my god, guys, I think I found diamonds. Wait, is this the original end dimension? Like, what is going on here? I don't think it's like the right thing. Alright, guys, let's beat the entire game. Let's go through the portal. This is the portal, right? Okay, let's go. I don't think that was the portal, actually. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I learned this game is supposed to dig straight down, so I'm gonna go do that now. Bro, you know digging straight down is just gonna kill you, right? Dude, there's literally lava right here. What is it? Okay, wonderful. What? There's literally lava right here, and you went through the one block that had no lava. Wonderful, right? See, I told you, digging straight down is perfectly fine. Don't mind me. Everything's okay. Bro, I wish I was as lucky as this guy. Wait a minute. Okay, let's just go into this cave real quick. Should be looking nice, and oh my god, guys, no way, I I'm literally Stephen Hawking's at mining, bro. Look at this. Oh my god, guys, there's also a secret netherite place over here. I didn't know netherite was in the overworld, but I mean, I guess we must have found some. I'm actually just too good at this game. Like, look how much stuff I've... Oh. Okay, guys, we're in a very exciting zombie right here. Oh my god, guys, we're gonna kill it right now. Go, go. What? Nah, guys, if you look at my frame rate, how am I supposed to play this? Like, clearly my Wi-Fi's bad. Let's check. Now, like, look at this. My Wi-Fi speed goes off the freaking page. That shows how bad it is, guys. Ow, 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 what the hell? What the hell? What is this? Bro, you're literally clearly hacking. It's so obvious. So, I regret to inform you that you're in a single-player world. There's literally no one who could be hacking right here. Hey, shut up, man. Alright, I found a desert temple. Let's go. Let's go down here and see what we got. Come on, please be good. Okay, right. Oh my god, you got a polished basalt. That's actually insane. Okay, I mean, at least I didn't step on the pressure plate or anything. Okay, let's leave this place. What is that? Okay, I don't care anymore. This temple is getting blown up. I'm sorry, bro. Good. Okay, what? Okay, so according to Einstein's theory of polynomial bisectors, if you walk over here and break this block, oh my god, we found diamonds, let's go. But that's not all. According to Pythagoras' theorem, if we dig straight down and then dig to the right, we should find bedrock. Oh my god, no way, this actually works. Like and subscribe for some more Minecraft hacks. Okay guys, welcome to our Let's Play. Oh my god, so the base, we have full diamond armor already. Oh my god, this Let's Play is going to be so well. Also, I just beat the dragon, I cut it out because it was a bit boring, but we managed to beat the game already, which is pretty cool. Okay, I also got full enchanted netherite armor. I was feeling a bit bored, so I just got this real quick, but it's all good. Also, I got this legit, by the way. Hey guys, I'm feeling a bit bored of this game. I don't know why, I've been playing this game so legitly this entire time, and I mean, I'm just getting bored of it, so I might have to quit. Hey, thanks for the views, though. Hey guys, look at that absolute bot over there. This guy's got no armor. Let's go stab him. Yeah, look, bro's literally got no armor apart from leather boots. Let's go stab him. Oh no, I'm gonna get stabbed. What can I possibly do? And they're gone. And they're gone. And they're gone. Hey guys, this is you should never subscribe to Lecty ever in your entire life. That's just a bad idea. Okay, this guy is clearly a psychopath. Like, what do you mean? Hey, you should subscribe for like 57 extra IQ. I think you get me. Yeah. What the hell is happening? Is this guy like genuinely okay? Are you good, bro? Whoa, fellas. I think we found a new hacker on the loose. No, bro, I'm just lagging. Help me, please. Yeah, sure, buddy. You're getting banned. Goodbye. So I've been playing creative for a while now, but I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna play some survival Minecraft. Hold on a minute, this is so unrealistic. How is a cave like floating? Give me a second, guys. Okay, this is much more realistic. Now I've got pillars supporting the cave. This one block strip of wood should be enough to support the entire cave. I mean, I think this is all good now. Okay, I kind of don't like this grass texture, so let's get that changed real quick. Okay, that looks a lot more pristine and good. I love this, honestly. Wait, why are all the flowers dying? Surely they can live on, like, concrete? Whoops. Okay, so I haven't played Minecraft in about 6 years, so let's play some Minecraft. I've completely forgotten how you play this game, but I mean, let's have some fun. Okay, so I don't think the terrain has really changed in the last 6 years. I mean, everything seems the same. Okay, never mind. So I heard that you can use lava pools to go to the nether, so, let's see. Oh my god, that's actually so smart. Oh my god. Okay, let's see the nether fortress. Wait, what happened to the nether fortress? It looks a bit, like, different. What happened here? Hang on, why are there pigs in the nether? Wait, why is this guy even asking what do you... Okay, wonderful news. Okay, so I've played the game for about 50 years. I've got kind of stacked over here. I think this is all good, but I need to be careful. There could be someone on the loose. Oh my god, bro, this guy is extremely stacked. You've got to be very careful. He might kill me instantly. Go away, bro. You've literally got full netherite armor like enchanted golden apples. I don't think you're gonna die to that guy, man. Now, trust me, bro. Watch this. Hey, man, you're really dangerous, aren't you, bro? You're really gonna kill. Okay, right. Hey, McDonald's person, you're really dumb and back like, hey, bro. Hey, how would you like that, man? You're gonna get stabbed, bro. How would you like that? How would you like that, bro? We actually take this shit up. Okay, right, wonderful. Hello, guys. Welcome to Mumbo Jumbo, episode 58,053. It is the year 2083. I got new redstone contraption ready for everyone. Okay, so when I flick this lever, I should die because of this piston and this stuff over here. Okay, go. Wait, it wasn't a sticky piston. Now I should die. Oh my goodness, guys. This is very useful wrestling contraption for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hello guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Next video out in 2053.
Sensitivity is so common, it immediately feels like somebody's poking directly on the nerve. I recommend Sensitive. Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Jessica. It was my birthday. The doorbell rang. I went to open it, but there was no one at the door. I was surprised to see a present on the floor. I kneeled to pick it up. The card on it said, "Happy birthday, Jess." But I'd already received my birthday gift. My mom asked me what I wanted. Sunglasses, I answered. The other day, she and I went shopping and bought me a fabulous pair of shades. So where did this mysterious gift come from? I looked around, but the street was empty. I took the package and went to my room. I opened it and saw a small camera inside. What in the world is this? I mumbled. Was it a surprise gift from my dad? I wished it was, but unfortunately that wasn't possible. My dad changed a lot in the past few years. I rarely saw him anymore. He wasn't even home on Sundays. The last time I saw him was when we ran into each other one night while I headed to the bathroom. He saw me and simply said, "Hello," and walked away. This upset me very much. I told my mom about it. "Unfortunately, I don't recognize your father anymore," she replied sadly. Across my bed was a huge teddy bear my mom gave me for my 7th birthday. I named him Tuffy. I pointed the camera at Tuffy and snapped a picture. Then I checked the digital screen on the back of the camera to see how it came out. What was that? There was a 4 or 5-year-old girl right next to Tuffy. I looked up at Tuffy. There was no girl, of course. My heart started pounding. I was so scared that I threw the camera on my bed. I grabbed my backpack and left home for school. That night when I returned, I realized that Tuffy wasn't in my room. My mom was making dinner in the kitchen. "Mom, where's Tuffy?" I asked. "Remember you told me Tuffy's fur is bad for my allergies? So I took it to the daycare center in the neighborhood. The kids loved it," she replied. I ran to my room when I heard that. I brought the camera for her to see, and I told her what had happened that morning. "Mom, you can laugh at me, but I think this camera shows the future. There was a girl next to Tuffy when I took the photo. Now I understand why. You are going to donate it to the daycare. The camera shows what will happen to your subject in the future. That's why a little girl played with Tuffy in the photo I took this morning." Mom laughed. Honey, I'm so impressed with your imagination. I pointed the camera toward my mom. "Then let's do a test," I said, hitting the shutter. When I looked at the screen, I screamed. "What's wrong, honey?" my mom asked. I showed her the camera screen. Her eyes widened. In the photo, my mom was in a hospital room. She was lying in the hospital bed with one of her legs in a cast. It looked like my mom would have an accident and break her leg at some point in the future. "But how could this happen?" she stuttered. "Mom, please go to your bedroom, lock your door, and don't get out. We need to prevent this accident," I said. My mom was panicking too. She did what I said without a word. I went back to my room and found my phone. I was going to call my dad and ask him to come home, but I couldn't reach him because his phone was off. A few hours later, I heard my mom reach out to me. When I went to her bedroom, she said, "I need to use the bathroom, but I'm scared." "If you're super careful, I'm sure you'll be okay," I comforted her. Mom went to the bathroom, checking every step she took. Thankfully, she came out of the bathroom quickly. She went back to her room with the same careful steps. I called my dad again. His phone was still off. In the meantime, I fell asleep. I woke up to a startling noise. I heard my mom's ear-splitting scream. I ran to my parents' bedroom. It was dark inside. I turned the light on. I saw my mom on the floor writhing in pain. She was holding her foot. My dad stood beside her, watching what was happening with bewildered eyes. "Oh, Mom, what happened?" I screamed. She said, moaning in pain, up to some noise. I got up to check what it was about. The room was dark, so I tripped on something and fell. My dad picked up his suitcase from the floor. I realized my mom had tripped on my dad's suitcase in the dark. Why do you have your suitcase packed, Dad? Are you going somewhere? I asked. I'm leaving home. I just want to live for myself. I don't care what you do. Mom was pale. Are you leaving us? She asked, forcing herself to speak. Yes, I came to pick up some of my stuff and leave you the divorce papers. You need to sign them, he said. My mom started crying. She needed to be taken to the hospital as soon as possible. I dialed the number of the ambulance. I explained what the situation was and gave them our address. Soon the team of paramedics arrived. They carried Mom to the ambulance. My dad and I were following them in my dad's car. I had my mysterious camera in my hand. I said, Dad, do you know this camera has an incredible feature? It takes photos of the future. I knew Mom would have an accident because of this camera, but I still couldn't stop it from happening. He looked at me perplexed. Then he laughed out loud. And your mom believes this too? Sounds like I'm leaving this house at the right time. You two loonies can live there happily ever after. I pointed the camera toward him and hit the shutter. The only way to make him believe was to show him his future. Then I looked at the screen on the camera. I was shocked by what I saw in the photo. Now I knew why my dad was leaving us. If I told him I knew his secret, he would take precautions. That's why I decided to keep it to myself. What's wrong? Did your miraculous camera not work this time? Oh, go ahead, snap another pic, he said to me teasingly. We arrived in front of the hospital. I opened the car door without saying anything. My dad handed me a big wad of cash. He said, you're not coming to the hospital. Think of me as your mom's ex-husband. This is the paperwork for the divorce. Tell your mom to sign this. I'll pick them up tomorrow morning. I got out of the car, and my dad drove away. I looked at his photograph as I was walking to the hospital. I still couldn't believe how he could do this to his family. I walked into the hospital. The doctors in the emergency room did what they had to do. The x-ray showed 2 fractures in her foot. The following day, I was in the hospital room with my mom. It was exactly like the photo. My mom was lying in bed with one leg in a cast. So, we can't change the future. Perhaps it's better to not know what it holds, she said with a smile. I was dying to show Mom Dad's photo. Mom, I took Dad's photo in the car as we were driving here, I said, showing her what was on the screen. Mom sat up slightly to see the photo. In the photo, my dad was on a stage. There were journalists around him. A man gave him a huge check that said $4 million. Even though this was an incredible amount of money, my dad looked devastated. Did he win the lottery? My mom asked in shock. I replied, yeah, he'll probably get the money today, but he wants you to sign the divorce papers before that. My mom's face lit up. She figured it out. According to the law, half of his winnings belong to his wife. He's divorcing me so he doesn't have to give me my share. Then he'll go and pick up the check and keep all the money to himself.
Just don't sign the divorce papers.
Because I had spent all night researching those laws.
And don't sign the divorce
He won't be
papers.
able to execute this plan because we discovered his secret thanks to my camera. And maybe that's why he looks so sad in the photo. As he's receiving the check, he knows he has to give you half of the money. My mom and I laughed out loud. Meanwhile, my dad walked in. Without asking my mom how she was doing, he asked, did you sign the papers? She replied coldly, no, I haven't. Don't worry. I'll sign them after I get my share. My dad's face went pale. What share are you talking about? My mom said, I'm talking about my share of the jackpot. I know you won $4 million from the lottery and are getting the money today. I will sign the divorce papers when you deposit my fair share of 50% of the money into my bank account. My dad asked, shocked. But this is impossible. How do you know that? My mom shrugged. Just then, my dad realized I was holding the camera. Did you find out about this through that camera? Is that camera really taking photos from the future? Dad, do you hear what you're saying? As you said, my mom and I are a pair of loonies. And that story about photos from the future is a made-up story by those loonies, I replied. Just as Dad was going to say something else, my mom shut him up. This conversation is over. If you don't send me the money in 2 hours, I won't divorce you, and you'll be married to this loon all your life. My dad left without saying another word. 2 hours later, they called my mom from her bank and told her that $2 million had been transferred into her account. We need to move to a town where Dad can't find us, I told my mom. That surprised her. Why would you say that? Why should we run from him? I don't think your dad would want to see us anymore. I showed my mom the camera. I took Dad's picture as you two are arguing. Look, he's going to be homeless in the future. Homeless? My mom screamed. I showed her the photo. Exactly. It looks like he's going to spend away his share of the money. He's going to go broke and live on the streets. In that situation, the first thing he would do would be to find us and ask us for money. We need to move somewhere he cannot possibly find us. We did everything we talked about that day. It's been a year now. We still haven't seen my dad. Now, I know that the camera sometimes shows what will happen soon, and sometimes not so soon. I don't know if my dad has money or is homeless, but I know that thanks to my camera, he will be broke one day and regret everything he's done to me and my mom. Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Scarlett. One morning, the director of the children's home woke me up.
Feel protected under our roof, so you can enjoy your dreams. American Family Insurance.
Armor is the most important thing in Minecraft PvP, since it makes you take way less damage, and when your armor breaks, it's basically impossible to win a fight. But would it be possible to beat someone while using no armor? Or even further, take over an entire public Minecraft SMP in a week where hundreds of players try and kill you? Well, as an experienced Minecraft player myself, it should be easy, right? Upon first joining the server, I knew that taking over wasn't going to be easy, since there were a bunch of super stacked players that spawned with 30 hearts and full netherite armor, and when a bunch of players started recognizing me and putting bounties on my head, I instantly became one of the most wanted players of the SMP. But luckily for me, there was a server create section with a vote for that gave free rewards for voting for the server. So what do we get? An iron helmet. Okay, we can't even wear that. And although I'm not allowed to wear any armor when taking over this SMP, I was able to sell the helmet for some server money, which is going to be very useful later in this video. But for now, I just decided to buy some food and was feeling ready to respawn and go into the wilderness. But this was risky, because on this server, you can steal other players' hearts by killing them, and losing all of your hearts gets you banned from the server. So with multiple bounties on my head and no armor, meaning I could be killed in just one hit, it would be even more dangerous for me to go into the wilderness, when PvP and killing are enabled. But I decided to go anyways. After punching down a few trees, I started preparing for one of my first goals to take over the SMP, which was getting the max hearts possible on the server, 30 hearts, so that I could survive a few hits from things like netherite swords or even end crystals without wearing any armor, which would help me complete my other challenges in taking over the server, like getting fully enchanted netherite gear, and also killing a stacked player who has max hearts and max netherite armor on the SMP. So after getting a few things like iron tools and a shield, I teleported back to spawn to try and steal some hearts. Now at spawn on the very edge, there's a long red line that separates the safe zone from the war zone, and if you cross this line, you're no longer protected from PvP, and are sure to be attacked by the many stacked players that guard spawn. So crossing this line with no armor was risky, since I could be killed by anyone in just 2 hits, and if hit, I would be put into combat, stopping me from traveling back into the spawn safe zone, and losing one of my hearts. So in order to steal some hearts, my plan was to target some of the more undergeared newbie players, and using shield and axe tactics to avoid getting hit, steal their hearts, all while simultaneously avoiding any of the stacked players to spawn. But once I got to spawn, I kept getting followed by a bunch of players, since I had a huge bounty on my head, and they would get a ton of money for killing me. So after about an hour of running around spawn to try to get away from them, I finally got away and managed to find a good hiding spot near the border, and waited until an unsuspecting player walked by. No, he's getting away. Come on, please. Yes, let's go. Okay, got 1 heart. And after killing a player and getting my first extra heart, I felt a lot more confident. I even got a free heart from a random player. But when this player ran across spawn and I stole their heart, I got jumped by 2 players in full netherite armor who killed me. And then I got killed by a creeper while trying to craft. What? Are you kidding me? Leaving me with only 1 heart and 0 items after almost 4 hours of playing. So I decided to travel back into the wilderness and use a less honorable strategy to get some hearts. And after mining for about an hour and getting some decent loot, I began building a trap, which I was going to use to get maximum hearts on the server. So after building a deep pit with dripstone at the bottom and science and all the blocks, making it impossible to clutch on any of the walls, I set a homemethod trap so I could teleport back anytime. I traveled to the spot to try to find some victims for my teleport trap, and after messaging a bunch of them to teleport to me for free loot or to team up, I kept getting ignored, all until one of the players finally requested to teleport to me. Yes, it actually worked. Alright, we found our new strat. And after dropping the first player and stealing his heart, as well as selling his chest full of resource money, it's time to repeat the process and finally get max hearts. And after teleport trapping 9 more players, accidentally teleporting a stacked player to me who turned out to be pretty chill, and then going on a bit of a side quest, getting killed by a player to spawn and then killing it back, I had a total of 21 hearts. And after using the money I got from selling the items that the players had trapped, selling my own head, which I stole from the player that killed me, coin flipping my money with other players, which was really risky since I almost lost it all, I was able to buy the last 9 hearts that I needed from the server's auction house, meaning after 12 hours of grinding, I had finally achieved the maximum amount of hearts possible on the SMP. And after completing the first goal and taking over this SMP, I decided to use some of the extra money I had on a bunch of OP items like Totems of Undying, Golden Apples, and Ender Pearls, which would help me survive more than just a few hits from a stacked player, even without me wearing any armor. But I also bought some sugar canes, since it's actually one of the best ways to make money on the server, and I'd be able to use it to quickly make an efficient farm and sell the sugar cane produced to eventually buy the max netherite gear needed to complete this challenge. But just before that, I'm trying to hit 200k before the end of the summer, so for every subscriber this video gets, I'll kill a player on this server in place of that gear. So subscribe to see how big this room gets, and you can even join this SMP today to actually see me online doing this challenge. But for now, let's get back to the video. So the next day, after finding a good spot deep underground to build a sugarcane farm, I quickly made the farm and let the sugarcane start growing. Well, I headed to spawn to complete the most difficult task of taking over this Minecraft SMP, killing a stacked player in fully enchanted netherite armor with max hearts on the server. Now doing the math, the amount of hits it would take for me to kill a player in full netherite armor with 30 hearts would be 49 perfect critical hits, while with a fully enchanted netherite sword, it would only take them 4 hits to kill me on 30 hearts. Not to mention I could just put it away and heal at any time, or even bring a friend as backup, making this task practically impossible. But unfortunately for me, at the time of actually trying to take over the SMP, I had no clue, and walked right into the war zone where I still had stacked players.